I was at the dentist's office, and I was terrified of the dentist. And when he got in there, he says, "You've got a cavity under a crown. We're going to have to do a root canal." And I was like, and I didn't know how to pray. And I'm trying to say the 23rd Psalm. I don't even know what I'm saying, you know, and I'm just saying whatever comes to mind. And all of a sudden, you know, I hear this voice. "Why don't you trust me?" And I looked around. There was no other men in this dentist office besides the dentist. And it was just so weird. But I didn't draw on that for a long time. Now, you have to remember, this was before I quit drinking. When I started drinking, I was about 13. But I didn't start doing drugs until I was about 27. I went to high school and graduated, and I married 3 months later. And I was married for 8.5 years, and my husband was killed. And at that time, I'd had 2 children, and I was pregnant with my 6 months pregnant with my 3rd child. And it was really difficult. And every time I'd cry, my kids would cry. And so I tried not to cry. And so I tried to bury all those feelings. Well, I did. I buried them in alcohol and drugs. I married a rock musician in the 70s, good old rock and roll. In fact, I married him twice. And my friends threw me in the car, took me to St. Mary's Hospital, and dumped me off. And on the way, I took 2 Valium and drank 3 beers. And that was when St. Mary's had first opened their drug and alcohol rehab. So I was the 2nd person in that rehab. Well, 4 years after that, my youngest son, the one I had been pregnant with, committed suicide. So that was, everybody held their breath, I guess, because they were afraid I would start drinking again and everything, which I didn't. I mean, I probably would have drank myself to death. I don't think I, would have been able to stop again. So, that's the reality on that. I had a pain in my chest, or in my rib cage. And I happened to go to the doctor the following Monday. And then, test came back, "Oh, you have a spot on your lungs," and all this kind of stuff. Then I was told I had lung cancer. Every day it was bad news. We found spots on your bones. We found we found tumors in your brain. I didn't think, why me, why me, why me? It was, why now? And the only thing that went through my mind was cancer, 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 cancer. I couldn't grasp it. I had been preparing for retirement for so long, saving and getting all my ducks in a row for retirement, and bang, it's gone. I had been what my girlfriend Patty calls a seeker for church, and she called me after I found out, and she found out. She said, "I want you to go to this church. I'm going to meet you, and we'll go together." We went in there, and like I said, I feel like I had an appointment that day with God. I learned so much just in the first 6 months than I had ever learned in any of the other churches, as far as the Bible and as far as the gospel. So I was thrilled that I had found this at a time when I really needed it. I talk about it all the time because if I don't talk about it, it isn't real. Because I talk about it, it makes it real to me. I've had to come to terms with the fact that, yes, I'm going to die, and it's not going to be too very much longer. Cancer is a gift in some ways because you get to say your goodbyes, you get to make your amends, and you can say your I love yous. And but it also was what I needed, the 2 years I needed to strengthen my faith. And I got them. And the thing I try to remember most of all is the voice saying, why don't you trust me? I draw on it now all the time. And why don't you trust me? You know, and it's a very simple question.